Hello, this is Abby, and for those of you who have been following my channel, I post videos about food recipes and new places that I've traveled to because I love traveling and I really like sharing my experiences with you. And yeah, for the past 11 months, I've been on hiatus. I've taken a break from YouTubing for multiple reasons and just wanted to share a little bit about what I went through for the past 11 months. And normally, I don't post these videos where I just talk by myself because I feel extremely awkward and yeah, I'm not much of a talker, but I'm just trying to be as honest and as blatant as I can. It's like as if I'm talking to my sister. So I think March of 2020, no, March of 2019, I think, or March of 2020. Okay, see, I can't even remember, but March of 2020, March of 2020, um, I was pregnant with twins and I was super excited. And it was my first pregnancy, and I went to my first appointment, and because it was during COVID times, I had to go in by myself. And I remember the doctor telling me, "Hey, I have a good news and a bad news. Like, which one do you want to hear first?" That's how she pretty much said it. And I was like, like, good news? I forget what I said, but pretty much she said, "Oh, the good news is that you have twins, and then the bad news is that seems like both heart of their twins, the twins' heart isn't like as fast as it should be. So I think for babies it should be really, really fast, but it was like kind of slow, and it was like a concern for her. So I took the ultrasound and like to see how the babies are doing, and I heard back from the doctor that the twins have like their heart stopped working, so that I would need to get the procedure to for the miscarriage. And the time was really hard, and I think it's still hard for me to even talk about it, but then I'm like a lot better now. But anyways, like after the miscarriage, it obviously like impacted me because I was super excited about having twins, and I was like, I want twins. And like I told all my friends and like my families, because I didn't really want to like wait until, I know some people they wait until like end of their first trimester to like make sure everything's okay, but I didn't want to wait, so I like told everyone. I was excited, everyone was excited, so I was really bummed, and not just bummed, like really sad. And I was just trying to like not think about it. And then beginning, I think it was also, beginning of 2021, I was pregnant again, and I went into the doctor's office, and I think because of the miscarriage, I was like, I extra nervous. And this time, actually, because COVID has been like present for almost a year by this time, the doctor told me that I could bring my husband, and I was very thankful for that, because I wanted some support just to even hear about like how things are going. And so this was week, I think, 10 checkup. So my first checkup after I became pregnant. And the doctor was looking at my belly. Well, she wasn't looking like this initially, but she was looking at my belly, and like, not my belly, but my belly area. And she was telling me, oh, like, healthy boy, or not healthy boy. She was like, healthy baby. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm like, okay, finally, like, healthy baby. Yay. Like, no problem. Like, this is really good. And then, but then I actually had like a little bit of pain on my right uterus. So I told her, hey, like, you forgot to check that, while you were checking my uterus. And she's like, oh yeah, let me bring the ultrasound to just check your uterus through looking at your stomach. So she was examining me again, and she's like, oh, or it wasn't like, oh, it was like, oh, it was like, oh. And I was like, oh, I was so scared. And she was pretty much telling me, like, I think I see another baby. And I was like, oh, and I started crying because I was just so, like, I guess scared and, kind of traumatized from the miscarriage. And I already, like, thought to myself, oh, shoot, like another twin, something like bad's gonna happen again. But obviously, it did. That's why I'm like able to talk about it. But I was like surprised, and I was like, oh no. And then, yeah, it wasn't like exciting for me. It was like kind of sad for me at that time. And anyways, so pretty much at this point, like, I find out that I have another twin, and I was very like excited slash nervous and sad and just all of these emotions. And because it was a high risk pregnancy, um so that story is for later, but pretty much for the first like 10, so after the 10-week appointment, we went to do another ultrasound, because when the doctor was checking me through her ultrasound gears, she saw the baby, but she couldn't see it clearly. So she wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And it turns out that one of the baby was bigger and the other baby was smaller. And there was like a size discrepancy. And that led us to having ultrasound checks every other week to make sure that the baby's okay. The one who's not receiving enough blood is the smaller one is okay. And after multiple ultrasounds, we found out that the baby wasn't receiving enough blood. And because of that, I ended up having preeclampsia. So that story pretty much is really long, but to sum it up, I woke up one morning and felt like my back was aching, and like my blade area was aching. And I was like, okay, I know like as a woman gets into their pregnancy, you're gonna have hard time breathing. I read that. So I was like, okay, maybe it's that. But, I decided to tell my husband, like, hey, like my back feels a little strange today. Like my shoulder area feels a little strange today. And I was like, but I think I'll be okay. This was 6 a.m. Um, in August. And um, so my husband's like, you should check your blood pressure, just in case. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, like, why not? So I take my blood pressure and I see that the top number was like 200. And I was like, this must be broken. And I thought that because my husband dropped the blood pressure monitor, like a week before. And I was like, it must be broken because like I never got that number before. So I did it again and I get the same number. And so I'm like, and I'm still skeptical. So I give that blood pressure monitor to my husband, and then his comes out like his normal reading. So I was like, okay, like it's working. And I was like, okay, what do I do? So I have Kaiser insurance. So I called the Kaiser hotline, and the nurse on the other side told me that I should go to the emergency. And I think I was just oblivious, or I was just not smart. And I was thinking, oh, okay, like I'm gonna go to the doctors, treat my high blood pressure, and then go get like blue bottle coffee afterwards. Because this was on Saturday morning. And I thought it was gonna be like that. But then, no. I went to the hospital and to the emergency room, and they checked my reading, and they put me in the emergency room. And I'm like, okay, I thought I was gonna go home, but I was admitted into the hospital for like indefinitely until I give birth. And yeah, so I got admitted week 26, and I gave birth through C-section on week 31st to two twin babies. And praise the Lord for this whole experience, just allowing me to be here with my babies. And yeah, just emotionally, I was relying on God and just praying every day, just to, yeah, because I had a lot of anxiousness and nervousness throughout that time. But pretty much to sum it up, I was on hiatus because I wanted to make sure that this twin pregnancy, the second one, wouldn't, that I wouldn't be stressed in any way, that I would just be relaxed and calm and, like pretty much not do anything. And I wasn't really stressed about YouTube per se, but it was a lot of work after my normal 9 to 5 work that I didn't really want to engage in anything after work. Oh, and I remembered looking at the computer, like the monitor to edit these videos took quite a lot of time for me. And looking at the monitor actually made my head hurt during pregnancy, like a lot more. And I felt even more nauseous. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do YouTube. And yeah, so pretty much that's why I was on hiatus for 11 months. And now that I gave birth and I feel a lot better, I've recovered, I want to try to go back to making some videos. Since I can't really travel with two little babies, it'll just be a feeding trip if I travel anywhere. Um, my contents will be focused more on just food recipes and vlogs, just daily vlogs if I have time to make it. It'll be more of like me just showing you my twins, um, and just whatever else I'm doing at home. But yeah, those will be more where my contents will be at. So yeah, I hope this 15-minute video was just give you some thought about like why I was gone, but also you know bit encouraging to those moms who are now trying to get back to work. And yeah, it was really personal, and I don't think I ever talked about anything personal on my YouTube, just because I felt a little self-conscious about people learning more about me in a personal way. And I think I had some trust issues. I was like, oh, what if people take my words, whatever it is, like not just today, but people are very critical. So I was like, oh, what if, people judge me? And I was really scared of that. So I would just edit the pretty things in my life, like traveling, or, just me making like food, because how can someone criticize you for making food, right? So I didn't even want to talk about anything, just me talking, talking, talking. I was kind of scared about that, but like 2022, same me, same Abby, but like I think I feel a lot better about um, just talking and sharing my experience, so that maybe someone who watches my video could like almost, yeah, that it could encourage you. Whether you went through miscarriage, or whether you have twins of your own, or um, that you're trying to come back, or whether you have preeclampsia, like whatever it may be, like somehow it could be helpful to you. So that's why I'm putting it out there. And I hope that you can like and subscribe to my channel. It'll be very encouraging to me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!